Genius, mastermind, and intellectual powerhouse. These are the words that one can use to describe crypto's youngest billionaire, a man of few words but many actions. You see, where other men move the crypto market with tweets, Vitalik Buterin makes the markets. It is nigh impossible to imagine the world in its current state without thinking of this man and his creation, Ethereum. Vitalik is almost an enigma, only surfacing to throw you off balance with his words and actions. Be it by making bold claims like declaring that Ethereum will grow 10 times within 2021, to donating billions in aid to India's COVID relief fund, you can never quite pin this man down. But it is exactly this kind of eccentricity that makes him the superstar he is in the cryptospheres. Today, we will dive deeper into the man, the myth, the legend that is Vitalik Buterin. What has he done that has earned him an almost cult-like following? What is he working on now? And maybe most importantly, how will you be affected? All of these are questions that I will answer in depth in this video, so hang on tight as I do a deep dive into Vitalik Buterin. At 27 years of age, many would still be fighting to get their lives in order. But for Buterin, he couldn't be farther from that reality. At 27, he is a global superstar, a legend that is spoken about in almost hushed tones. You see, this Russian-Canadian writer and programmer is the predominant face behind the creation of Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency with a market cap of over $500 billion. Given Ethereum's popularity and how it is the fuel that runs the majority of the other coins, in the absence of Nakamoto Satoshi, Vitalik is the biggest face in crypto. At his age, and with the plans he has, it is very clear that this man is not done just yet. No, not even close. We will get into those plans later on in this video, but for now, let's start on what pushed Buterin into the force of nature he is now. Vitalik was born on January 31st, 1994, in Kolomna, Moscow Oblast, Russia. He lived in Russia until the age of 6, and then immigrated to Canada with his parents. His genius then started showing at an early age. When he was in primary school, he was placed in a program for the gifted. It was here that Vitalik quickly realized that his particular skills and talents made him somewhat of an oddity to his peers and even teachers. His natural inclination to math, programming, and an affinity for economics made him stand out. It was in these early years that a catalyst event happened that changed the course of young Vitalik's life forever. This really is starting to sound like a hero origin story. You see, Vitalik was an avid player of World of Warcraft, and many days were spent in this fantasy world. However, when Blizzard decided to remove the damage component from his favorite warlock's siphon life skill, he sobbed himself to sleep that night. In one swift move, his in-game power had been limited. It was at this point that Vitalik realized how horrible centralized services could be, and he quit World of Warcraft. He later said, "I cried myself to sleep, and on that day I realized what horrors centralized services can bring." We can thank Blizzard for ruining Vitalik's in-game experience, because his dislike for centralized systems stemmed from that. Blaming society's sins on too much government power, Vitalik thought cryptocurrency could be a good way to correct that imbalance. He later said in an interview, "I saw everything to do with either government regulation or corporate control as just being plain evil. And I assumed that people in those institutions were kind of like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, sitting behind their desks saying, 'Excellent. How can I screw 1,000 people over this time?'" He went on to learn about Bitcoin in depth when he was 17 from his father. Cryptocurrency had come as a way to fill that World of Warcraft void, and the more the Russian-Canadian programmer became curious about the decentralized payment systems, the more cryptocurrency became a viable option. He initially wanted to buy into Bitcoin, but didn't have the money, so he ended up writing blog posts in exchange for payment in crypto, leading to him co-founding Bitcoin Magazine, his first publication. The foundation had been set, and more was on the cusp for young Vitalik. In a minute, you will see what followed next in Buterin's journey. You will want to hear about this. With the magazine started, Vitalik traveled across the world looking at various crypto projects, and it was here that new ideas started coming his way. After looking at how these projects were structured, Vitalik made certain realizations that led to the birth of Ethereum. He co-founded Ethereum blockchain technology with Gavin Wood and Joseph Lubin. His goal was to provide new cases for blockchain technology, moving beyond the financial applications of Bitcoin. Ethereum works as a blockchain-based operating system where anyone can create and run smart contracts and decentralized applications. Part of the motivation to create Ethereum was that Buterin thought Bitcoin offered limited functionality, describing it as the difference between a simple calculator and a smartphone. The calculator does one thing well, but people want more, he said. If you have a smartphone, then on the smartphone you have a plot key calculator as an app. You have playing music as an app. You have a web browser as an app, and pretty much everything else, he told Business Insider. He took this idea to Ethereum to increase the power of the system by making it more general purpose and applying it to blockchains, the technology behind many cryptocurrencies. Vitalik and his partners designed Ethereum to adhere to several principles, including simplicity, universality, modularity, agility, non-discrimination, and non-censorship. Because of this, the Ethereum blockchain turned out to be a massive success, and ever since, Ethereum has been on a warpath, and as of the time of writing, it trades at $4,732. It is the most valuable crypto after Bitcoin by quite a margin. With the 325,104 ETH that Vitalik Buterin holds in his public wallets, his net worth is well over $1.5 billion. And yet, Vitalik is still keen on making improvements on the network. Let's dig deeper and find out more. Before we dive into the next bit of juicy information, here is an interesting fact for you. Vitalik had a death rumor circulating so heavily in 2017 that ETH ended up dropping in value. This was so severe that Vitalik ended up making a post to confirm that he was alive and happy, leading to ETH skyrocketing. That was quite the debacle. Now back to it. Buterin is working on ETH 2.0, which is set to emerge very late in 2021 or early 2022. The newer version will transition to a proof-of-stake system from a proof-of-work system, reducing carbon emissions related to the mining of Ether by 99%, Buterin said previously. Buterin noted in May at the Start Me Up HK Festival 2021's virtual fintech forum that constructing Ethereum was taking longer than he expected. He stated that the Ethereum team estimated that proof-of-stake would take 1 year, while it took 6 years. Buterin emphasized the importance of having Ethereum's most promising solution for long-term scalability as a distinct upgrade from the rest because of the potential risks. This long-awaited feature is called sharding. Sharding is the process of horizontally partitioning a database to distribute the load, reduce network congestion, and increase transactions per second. The shard chains are expected to increase Ethereum's data storage and access capability. The significant change to the new network, on the other hand, indicates a unilateral move from decentralized planning by miners and developers to Vitalik Buterin and his colleagues. It also alters purchasers' expectations of receiving dividends in proportion to their network ownership position. As a result, Ether will become much more analogous to investment security than decentralized network money. We know his genius and we know his origins, but what about his heart? Let's find out in just a minute. Our genius billionaire is very dedicated to giving to causes that appeal to him. Vitalik Buterin is a philanthropist at heart, with numerous philanthropic efforts to his name. In 2017, He donated almost $1 million worth of Ethereum to the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, which aims at ensuring artificial intelligence technologies have a positive impact on humanity. In 2018, he donated $2.4 million worth of Ethereum to the SENS Research Foundation, which develops solutions for health issues associated with aging. He also donated $1 million for Ugandan refugees. Earlier this year, he made headlines when he donated a meme coin worth $1.5 billion to several nonprofit organizations, including $1 billion to a COVID-19 relief fund in India. This is lauded as one of the largest ever individual philanthropic efforts. Clearly aiding charitable foundations is important to the young billionaire, and he's assisting the world through various foundations. Buterin has had his fair share of recognition, starting from when he was awarded the Teal Fellowship Award that spurred a lot of his innovative scientific and technical projects to life. He has also won the World Technology Network Prize for IT software in 2014, coming out ahead of Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. He has also made it on both Fortune 40 Under 40 lists and Forbes 30 Under 30 lists. In 2018, the University of Basel awarded Buterin with an honorary degree. At the Dies Academicus, an annual celebration of the university's establishment, he was honored by the institution's Faculty of Business and Economics for his work on blockchain development. For a man that had dropped out of school to begin his passion, this brought his story full circle. But what lies next in his deck of cards? I'll get to it in just a minute. After conquering the past and hitting numerous milestones, Buterin has an elaborate plan for the future. He expects that Ethereum will be ruling the metaverse in 10 years. The metaverse is an idea for a vast virtual world where people can interact with one another and with digital objects as avatars. According to him, Ethereum is amazingly positioned to be a fundamental part of the metaverse, as the internet plus the shared state allows objects to flow between platforms. Overall, he believes that the Ethereum name service ecosystem provides a Web 3.0 username for all of your Bitcoin addresses and decentralized websites, as well as the concept of users and items having cross-platform identities is an obvious application that people don't understand, but ENS offers these solutions. Buterin is most intrigued by the zero-knowledge, succinct, non-interactive argument of knowledge, ZK SNARKs, cryptographic proof that allows one party to establish that it has specific information without exposing it. It essentially eliminates the need for interaction between the prover and the verifier. He also believes that ZK SNARKs will be the most extensively deployed privacy-preserving technology in the next 30 years. Buterin thinks it will be a big revolution as it spreads into the mainstream over the next 10 to 20 years. We will have to wait and see how close to the mark he is on this one. As with all things futuristic, time will tell. So, what does a young billionaire genius with vast wealth and a lifetime to spend it do? Perhaps travel the world? I know I would. In this case, however, Vitalik Buterin has dedicated his time to making Ethereum even bigger and better. With ETH2 on the horizon, I can only imagine the future that we will have in store. With the fortune, intellect, and wealth to back it up, you know for sure that evolutionary measures are coming our way in regards to not only blockchain technology, but all the various technologies that Buterin touches. If this is what he has achieved in 27 years, we are eager to know what will happen in the 27 to come.